Guys, and welcome to another Logic Pro tips and tricks. And in this video, we're going to be talking about organizing your session for mixing. Someone asked me the other day on Instagram, so I'm going to do this video to demonstrate how I start organizing a session when a client, in this case, sends me stems. So the most important thing is to keep everything organized. So in my external hard drive, I have folders for everything, and one of them is for clients. So I'm going to download the stems into this folder that I created for the artist with her name and the name of the song. The next thing I'm going to do is import those stems into my session. What I'm going to do in Logic is I'm just going to go to my Finder and find those stems. I'm just going to select them all and I'm going to drag them into my session. There's an import shortcut, which is Command Shift I, but for some reason, Logic only lets you import one stem at a time. So the easier way is just to go ahead and locate the folder, grab them all, and drag them into the session. Logic is going to ask me if I want to create new tracks for this, and I'm going to hit yes. In this case, it didn't ask me if I wanted to import the tempo and sample rate of the song. It might be something with the settings that I don't have selected, but usually it asks you that. And if it's a different sample rate, it will ask you if you want to convert the stems to the current sample rate or not. So now that I have all my stems in the session, I want to make sure that they're all aligned. And when I hit the play button, they're all going to start playing at the same time. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to play the track for you because I don't have the okay from the artist. It's an unreleased song. So what I'm going to start doing is just soloing each track and listening to what they are and naming them to something that makes sense. Sometimes, depending on the artist, they will send you stems, and some of them will say Guitar John or Guitar Charlie. So one is a rhythm guitar, the other one is a lead guitar. So you have to go back and then name them properly so it's easier for you to identify them. Also, keep in mind that this type of organization in your session can be applied also when you're producing. When I'm producing, I also mix in the same session. So it's very important to keep everything organized and named correctly so it's easier for you to identify where are those elements in the song. So I'm going to name all these tracks and see you in a bit. Once I have them all named, I'm going to start grouping them by sending them to an aux track or a summing track. And I'm going to group them by drums, instruments, guitars, effects. And with the vocals, I want to group them by verse vocals, verse harmonies, hook vocals and hook harmonies, and ad libs. And all these because I'm going to treat them differently. Once I have all my tracks grouped together, I will color code them. I already have colors that I use for specific groups. So all my drums are red, all my synth instruments are light blue, my vocals, if it's a female, they're kind of like pink, if they're male, they're blue, and whatever makes sense to you, just to make it easier for you to identify the groups in your session. So the cool thing about doing this summing stacks is that I can collapse them when I don't need them, or I can expand them when I need them. Doing this will save you some real estate space on your screen. It's easier to look at 7 to 10 groups than looking at hundreds of tracks. And you can process all the tracks in the group together or individually. Last but not least, we're going to save this as a new folder inside the folder that we already created for the artist. And we are going to include any audio files that we imported into that session, any impulse responses from reverbs, or if you have any MIDI instruments in that session, you're going to include all that in your folder. So when you open that session, you have all the elements in that session and you're not missing anything like audio files or plugins or anything. And once I have all this done, then I can start my mixing process, which is another video. So if you like a video on my mixing process, comment below and I'll work on that video. If you like the video, please subscribe and click on that bell so you don't miss any content.